What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're doing F2 cars for the first time online. In the recent 1.5 update by Codemasters for F1 2019, they introduced F2 cars that you can now race online. So before it was only a single player feature, but now we can enjoy the F2 cars in all of their disastrous nature in the online realm of things as well, and we can get some realistic looking F2 races. So if you haven't seen F2 before, it's the junior Formula to Formula 1, and more often than not the racing is a lot more exciting, a lot more crazy, and you see a whole lot more crashes. So I'd expect we'd see something very similar in the gaming side. 5 red lights and away we go for our first Formula 2 race online on this channel. And I thought I'd include this one. We're not going to show the whole race because this start that I got was an absolute banger. From last place on the grid, we let everyone go through at turn 1. We do a nice little clean undercut through turn 1. We find 8 positions, another 2 potentially here as we slide around the outside of someone who didn't get the greatest amount of momentum out of turn 1. And then at the top already on there, we go clean around the outside. I say clean. Pretty dirty around the outside, off the circuit, and into P10. Unfortunately, the reason why you're not seeing the race in all of its entirety is, yeah, because of me bottling it, essentially. Got too close to the curb. Then I just got shafted about 3 times in a row, actually. I got shafted there, I got shafted before, and then I actually got shafted 1 time after that, which you didn't see. But anyway, it's time for Brazil. 5 red lights. And away we go for our second race. Let's hopefully have a bit better luck this time around. We've got the likes of Alex Gillen, Veloce James in this lobby. Quite a few quick people, and they are all starting at the back with me in what looks like a handicap race. So let's see what we can manage with this race. We're going to follow Alex through and James. Looks like Alex and James get tangled up with each other, and I become the lead of the faster people. So let's see if we can make something of this start. That Cozzy guy gets a bit too cozy with Sinister. Yep, he gets blocked in, and we just seem to be getting the absolute golden run here, just like we did in Spa, into P9, already halving our grid position after only a matter of corners in this Brazilian Grand Prix, covering the inside because I didn't want it to be dive bombed from behind me. Just trying to really just be reactive. This is all you can really do. You can't really train for first lap racecraft. You've just got to react to what everyone else is doing and almost predict what you think they might do, what kind of exit they might get, and then just follow the guy who you think has got the better potential or the better momentum out of a corner. So you'll see I follow Dr. Chungus through the last corner, but then I probably should have took a bit of a wider line and floated out a bit more. Instead I got boxed in by Woomaloo. Like, you guys with your usernames, these are just top quality usernames, I've got to say, in the slipstream of Woomaloo here. And let's see if we go for the dive bomb. No, we actually think better of it. He goes for the massive dive bomb into turn 1, takes out someone else, which is lovely. Then we see Shadow sending someone to the Shadow realm, promoting us into P5. Cheeky shout out to Super GT there, he's a legend, you should go watch his content. But anyway, we see another driver running wide, and we're up into P4. So a lot of these moves, okay, this one we have to force. That's up the inside of Shadow, sending him to the Shadow realm now. Actually, no, he sent himself as he tried to re-dive up the inside of me in a counter-attacking move. So here's the replay. Big dive bomb here. Thought I'd take my chance. He decides to hold it around the outside, which turns to the inside. Unfortunately, the highlights camera cuts away from it, so we don't see what happened. But basically, he went for a gap that wasn't there. Kind of pit maneuvered himself, and now we are in the podium positions, hunting down a race victory. For this race in particular, I made it 3 laps, and I really shouldn't have made it 3 laps because we have the potential to win this one, and where it looks like we might potentially run out of time to pull off a miracle, and now I'm absolutely kicking myself. 5-lap races do go on for an absolute age in the F2 cars. I don't know why, but they do. These cars are just so much slower than F1 cars. They're so much more understeery. Under brakes, they're a bit lethargic as well, just in all areas. They're not as good. I feel like it kind of closes the skill gap to a degree, because you're not worrying about fuel mixes, you're not worrying about battery modes. It's literally you and your swamp. And by your swamp, I mean you just driving, accelerating, turning, and braking. That's it. Away we go for the last race here in Silverstone. We can't not go to Silverstone in F2 cars, given that they were just there literally 2 days ago. So, yeah, let's see what we can make of this race. A very hazy turns 2 and 3. We find our way towards the midfield already after only what has been a corner. What is it with these people in these cars? All the assists are on. These cars are somewhat easier to drive. Alex Gillen got caught up behind a spinning car, which didn't go, so F's in chat for Alex. But meanwhile, we just seem to be getting the golden run of picking our way through the traffic, avoiding the crashes, just playing it somewhat safe, but also picking our moments quite well. That was something I was doing quite well in today's lobby, so I was loving life in that regard already in the P7, and now we can set our sights on trying to win this race if we can. I think Veloce James is at the front, unfortunately, so it will be somewhat hard to catch up to him. We're trying to go around the outside of... I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. But anyway, he gets a horrible run out of Beckett's. And now we're going to have the better momentum. Hopefully we can get some slipstream off a devalved here on the hangar straight around the outside. And that is P6 for us. These guys... Whoa, okay. Alright. That's fine. I'll take that anyway. That was... Yeah, I was... Okay. The guy in the blue 6 car, I think he was desynced or like disconnected or something. His car was not there. Completely brake checked the people in front of me, and then it was just a whole gaggle of issues. And oh, it's back again. Okay, around the outside, let's just cut the corner. Oh, illegal overtake, brilliant. So I'm gonna have to let him go back through in order to not get a penalty, which is frustrating as well, because the guys in the podium positions were only just a couple of seconds up the road, but I thought I'd be a good boy. Oh, he's left the session as well? Well, that was completely pointless. If I would have just pressed on and he left, I think I would have got away with the illegal overtake. That is really annoying. But anyway, lap 2. Veloce James absolutely checking out in this British Grand Prix. And this race actually came before all the others. So this is why I had to set reverse grids and we had to fight it. Anyway, I wanted to yeah, put all the quick guys at the back and prevent situations like this where James is rolling off into the distance. But anyway, we are trying to chase down the podium runners in this British Grand Prix. Can we do it in the Carlin F2 car? Nice track extend there, Benjamin. One thing I will say is the understeer is probably the worst thing about these cars. You think you've got all this grip in the world to push it through corners, but the car's just like, no. Why are you doing this to me? Stop. Go slower. I like going slower, says the car. And go slower we shall do, says Ben. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix now. We're catching up to Cozzy now, who is getting pretty cozy with Shadow. I'm pretty sure these two guys came to grips in a different race. And here they are once again. He's in the slipstream looking for an avenue. The guy up front, who is Shadow, is trying to avoid being sent to the Shadow Realm in order to get a podium, trying to break that slipstream. We're getting ever closer through the corners. It seems that, yeah, we seem to negotiate the higher speed corners a little bit better, and that's where we can make our big gains. Now coming up to Cops, it's unbelievable how much you have to lift off through here, shifting down to 5th gear, and even still we run out pretty far wide there and get a track limits warning for our troubles. Heading into the S's now for the last time. These guys need to get a nice exit if they want to hold on to this position. We're trying to get the most out of Beckett's here. Nice exit. Looks like we carried a lot of momentum, and now we're going to be on the front foot as we go down the hangar straight for the last time. There's lots of weaving going on down the straight in order to prevent moves from happening. Cozzy goes around the outside of Shadow. Shadow doesn't want any of this as Cozzy just extends to China and back, and now we're going to dive up the inside of Shadow. Veloce James has absolutely won this Grand Prix by a mile. We go around the outside of Shadow, and that might just about be a move for the podium. And it is. Oh my goodness me. That was a risky move, and I thought, honestly, Shadow was going to shend us? He was going to shend us to the Shadow Realm. I'm sorry, Steve, for stealing your joke. I promise this will be the one and only time where I do that, but when you've got a guy called Shadow in your lobby, how can you not seize that opportunity? But there we go. That is F2 cars on the F1 2019 game against you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. If you want to see more F2 content, especially online, feel free to let me know. The 2019 F2 cars are coming out in September, so stay tuned for a video on that. But yeah, otherwise, if you want to get involved in my online races like this one, follow me on Twitter. I'll announce when I go online, and we can have some fun in that space. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.